Greetings, everyone. Greetings and welcome. My name is Slayheim, and today we're joined by Dessius. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Well rested. Ready to have a nice talk about EverQuest, trip down memory lane, some MMOs.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. That's exactly my thing. So, yeah, so for people who don't know you yet, who are you and sort of how did you get into EverQuest and what's your kind of origin story there?
Yeah, so I make primarily EverQuest videos like the past year and a half, just kind of talking about the experience and just kind of a flow of consciousness, whatever comes up. And I mean, I've been playing EverQuest before I could even remember like what the concept of EverQuest even was, because my dad used to play it, and like he still does, and I'd just watch him play as a little kid, and I kind of just started playing like maybe 3 years old or something, because the game's older than
Wow.
me. So yeah, it's been a lifelong thing for me just to kind of learn from and just especially connect with other people, and just making YouTube videos has been really cool at just seeing how much love is in this community and just how close knit people are, and just it brings people together. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's great. Definitely shout out to your dad. That's amazing. And it's amazing because, like in this day and age, and not to come at it from a place like I'm much older than you or whatever, but it's just what I noticed about you. It's like you're an incredibly thoughtful guy. It's like I've been a fan for a while, and I think one of the very first videos I saw is when you were, I think Quarm had temporarily shut down
Mm,
during like the THJ thing, and you're just kind of sharing your
yeah.
thoughts. But that's what I love those kind of videos on YouTube where you just kind of share your thoughts. And that always struck me as you're an incredibly sort of thoughtful guy. And
Uh,
it's great. I love your perspective on it. So, is
Appreciate
your
that.
dad is currently still playing? Is he playing Quorum? Is he
Yes.
playing live? What, and I like how you said this too in one of your recent videos. You said, I'm in this dimension of EverQuest. So,
Yeah.
what dimension of EverQuest is he playing in the most?
Yeah, so right now he's on Quarm. He's raiding with a guild called the Drift, and he's playing a bard, and he like recently hit level 60, so it's kind of cool just seeing his experience, because I mean both of us have like taken long hiatuses from the game over the years, and just kind of stopped playing and then come back, maybe played some like TLPs, but yeah, that's
Mhm.
the current dimension is Quarm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I recently got into Quorum as well, and I really like it. I love all the quality of life stuff, and to me, that's just
Yes.
kind of like the perfect era of EverQuest, because that's kind of what I remember from
Hmm.
my childhood. And I think Planes of Power is like a great sort of natural conclusion to like it's basically like the ending of EverQuest, and I love that too. I
Yes.
love how you can just come back into the world. Norath is still Norath, and it's still there,
Hmm.
and it's just beautiful. It hasn't moved on
It
like
is.
live. So.
No. Yeah, I love that about it. Just kind of like a museum. Like you can go back and just check it out, and it's something that's constant. And but you can always like learn something new from it. Like it can always be novel.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you have like a favorite expansion or era of EverQuest? What continent do you like or expansion the most?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, because it's kind of weird for me, like because I'm most nostalgic about like the later expansions in EverQuest, because that's when I just played it most as a kid, like the Serpent Spine, like going through Crescent Reach and like Blightfire Moors, like the like non-classic zones. Another one is House of Thule, like
Nice.
that was a really cool expansion, just really cool mobs, but it's yeah, classic like the original zones and everything. Like they're not as nostalgic for me, but I think that's what makes it fun too, because it's the oldest version of the game, but it's for me it can be like a newer, unfamiliar version.
No, it's cool. I definitely appreciate that perspective. And, just come to think of it, I think Crescent Reach is basically it kind of became the main city of EQ, but it's also been around for a while at this point too. I think like 14,
Yeah.
15 years we basically had
Yeah,
Crescent
probably
Reach.
longer.
And actually like in retrospect, like after talking to a lot of the EverQuest community, I kind of feel like I'm very harsh on live. I still have a live subscription to Daybreak, and I kind of pop in periodically, but I kind of feel like in some of my videos I was unnecessarily harsh because there are good people there still doing good work and kind of keeping the dream alive. So, yeah, I guess just an observation, but it's just really cool how you can appreciate kind of like the more classic zones and whatnot.
Yeah. It all
Um,
has the same bone, the same foundation.
yeah, for
It's all
sure.
EverQuest.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite zone or anything that kind of feels special to you, or your favorite home
Yeah.
zone or dungeon or anything like that?
That is a really good question. I think it's kind of like the default, but like I have so many memories just running around Plane of Knowledge and just
Yeah.
throughout my life. Just there's so many like nooks and crannies and like there was a period where you could like die in the Plane of Knowledge. So I remember
Oh,
like going into the library and there's this like massive elevator and like my character would like get stuck and like fall like I just die in
oh,
Plane of Knowledge.
oh, that's
But
awesome.
I have yeah, there's so many memories like I think a lot of the Serpent Spine zones, to be honest, like there's like even past Blightfire Moors, there's like the Black Feather Roost and the Guru Car Mesa, like a lot of those zones I spent a lot of time in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I love Plane of Knowledge. Yeah, that I always gravitate to there every time I log in, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
cool to have that on Quarm at some
I know,
point
yeah, I'm
too.
looking forward to that.
But yeah, any kind of memories, just hit me with it. Oh, what about camps? Is there any nice camps that you
Mm,
like or enjoy? Any item that you spent like a lot of time grinding and sort of camping?
yes. Oh my gosh. I think just the epics in general, like they set you on that adventure and like my most like lucid memory of kind of camping something is it was in 2015 on the Ragefire TLP server and I was working on the Paladin Epic 1.0 and one of the steps was to go into it was in Everfrost Peaks like underneath the frozen lake there's like that whole tunnel system like the northeast section
Hmm.
and there was the Lich of Miragle. It was like a level 50 something skeleton. You need like a group to take him out, and he was on a 1 week timer on that server.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so like going to school, like every time I was done with the day, like I would check in on the tunnel, make sure it was if it was there or not, and like that was a logistical nightmare. But that's also what made the game beautiful. Just you need people to back you up, and like it does take real time to achieve stuff.
yeah. No, I love that about EverQuest and any kind of items that you earn like that. It's such an achievement because
Yeah.
not everybody has it, and that's kind of the appeal, you know. And yeah, like for me, I've played a lot of modern MMOs where they just constantly throw gear at you, so it's just all
Mm-hmm.
meaningless. You're constantly getting something
Yep.
better. I mean, some people like that, but for these type of games, I think those slow grinding moments are just
Hmm.
the best.
And there's like a story behind it too. Like you can look back at that item and it's different for everyone, like how they obtained it, the people it took to achieve it. Like yeah, you just it's hard to get that from other games.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean like to this day I still have my rogue epic weapon. It's the only epic that I've ever done. I was in the process of doing like the 2.0 epic, but I just didn't complete
Oh,
it.
okay.
And yeah, like I still have that pixel basically. It's just a couple
Yes.
pixels in a bag, but it still just
The
means so
Rage
much.
Bringer.
Yeah, and I just remember the raids. I remember the kind of the people that I did it with, how I felt at the time. It was great. It's yeah,
Ah, that's awesome.
for sure. Do you have a favorite epic weapon? Like, which one do you think looks cool? They all look
Hmm.
awesome, but
I know, like the Epic 2.0s, like the art style behind them, I like absolutely love like how it looks different for every class. Like the Epic 1.0s are like they stand on themselves, like they are just like iconic.
yeah,
It's hard to choose like the Mage Epic 1.0 and 2.0. Like I love those ones, and same with the Paladin, the
yeah,
fiery defender, like just the fiery
yeah.
blade.
Man, I always tell people this. I'm blown away by the epic weapons in EverQuest. Like, I've never seen it. I mean, I'm not an MMO connoisseur per se, but like, from what I've played, I haven't seen it done before to that extent. And even
Hmm.
to your point, like a lot of the older school EQ players, they don't like pretty much like the Discord era. I thought those epic weapons were really cool.
Oh,
I've gone down in like
yeah.
the art style, the artists that created them, like the concept art for them. They feel really
Same.
unique and iconic to the classes. I'm
They
working
do.
on a little video just to kind of present the
Ooh,
art there, and I just think it's just really
cool.
cool. They seem like kind of these
Yes.
like organic weapons from like the plane of Discord with like all this weird energy and stuff. I just thought they were
Yeah,
so well done, and
I know.
oh, it
Yeah.
fires me up. I want to go back to live and maybe I've thought about trying to solo the 2.0 nowadays with like
Ooh.
modern mercenaries and that kind of
Yeah, you
thing.
could. Yeah, yeah. The Omens of War arrows, I love like the whole aesthetic of that. Like
Me
even
too.
the non-epic weapons had just such a cool, unique, like graphical style. Like it, and
Yeah.
it was like the weapons were like reflective too, and just had like bronze. I don't know. Like it
Yeah, I
was just
love
a
it.
cool style.
Yeah, no, I definitely love it. And that was my sort of that's when I stopped raiding. That was like my big like peak, I guess, in EverQuest. I was raiding Citadel of Anguish and I was
Okay, yep.
working on my 2.0 and I just didn't complete it because I think I jumped ship to World of Warcraft at that point and
Oh, yep.
just kind of forgot about EverQuest for a while. But
That
that's why
makes
this is
sense.
so amazing. Like there's this whole world of like emulated servers and people that still love the game and it just
Yeah.
oh man, it fired me back up. So no.
Yeah, it's like a perfect bubble of the internet.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
untouched.
Yeah. Do you have any like random strangers you met that kind of became friends? Any kind of stories like that? People that kind of helped you out in the world and you still
Yeah,
keep
yeah, there's like no matter what server I've played on, like there's always just like people that come out of the woodwork that are just always super friendly and like especially I just have the most memories from the Ragefire TLP server of just meeting so many cool people and like some people just like taking me under their wing because I just didn't really have a lot of knowledge about the game and I mean I still don't like it's still just kind of going through the experiences but yeah, I think like no matter what version, whether it's Quarm, like Project 1999, Live, TLPs, you name it, like there's always people that I kind of gravitate towards and just really nice people.
yeah. The EverQuest community is the best out of any community.
Yeah.
There's so many nice
Yes.
people. And even I'm relatively new to streaming, I guess, overall, but like every time I've streamed EverQuest, it's just been like huge, huge viewership, you know.
Oh,
It's
that's awesome.
it's really heartwarming. People just come out of the woodwork to help and people are so knowledgeable and I'm learning as well too, you know. I've only ever really played Rogue, just kind of dabbled in a couple
Okay,
other
yeah.
classes. Actually, what is your favorite class? Actually, I apologize. I should have asked you that right off the
Oh
bat.
no, yeah.
What do
Yeah,
you
that's a
enjoy
good
playing?
question.
What's your favorite class? How do you feel about the whole archetypes and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah, I love the archetypes of EverQuest, and like when I was younger, I gravitated towards like melee classes, like specifically the Paladin. I've always loved the aesthetic of a Paladin, just a holy warrior. You can heal, really survivable. Lately,
I
I
love
did
that.
play the Enchanter too, like just the utility of that class. It really showed me that, oh yeah, like there's more to this game than I thought. Like there's a lot you can do, and then kind of. I play like the mage and like some DPS oriented classes, but lately I've been playing the shaman on Project Quarm, and that like is a really different kind of play style than I was ever used to. Just healing, slows, like dots, like just CC in general, cannibalism spell, like constantly casting that. Like yeah, it's I don't know which one I prefer the most, but probably Enchanter. That's probably the
Interesting.
one.
Interesting. Yeah, no. Okay. Very, very interesting. Yeah. It's great. It's one of those classes that kind of fourth pillar has been lost nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
modern games kind of moved away from like the support classes. There is no like buffing and debuffing. It's mostly just tank heal
Hmm.
DPS, and it's cool. The Enchanter can pretty much do anything really. And
Yeah.
whenever I was a kid, it always seemed like a weak class to me. I always thought it was just like, like mages and wizards have better nukes, mages have better
Yep.
pets, and I was like, why do people play this class? But like
Yeah, same here.
now I understand, for sure. An enchanter can just change the tide, you know.
Yeah, especially like a charm pet, it's so overpowered.
Yeah,
Unless it breaks and then you die instantly. That's
yeah.
not fun. Like
I
don't haste a charm pet.
yeah, I love it. Do you have any like funny wipe or like sort of silly deaths
Man, I
stories?
can't think of anything specific, but like there's been so many like experiences where I'm just like, like, that happened, just like the Marvel quip. Um,
Yeah.
but I think like I played on a PvP server for a bit with my dad because he was a big PvPer, and so we played on like Zek for a bit, and there was some interesting like fights I've had with other players, and just getting ganked and stuff. Like
Oh
those
man.
experiences are always formative for gaming.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's great. I didn't play on the PvP servers in EQ, but I always heard the stories. Yeah. Like, I always heard
Yeah.
bards were almost untouchable. Like a really good bard can just
Oh yeah.
run circles around you and there's nothing you can do. But yeah, it's
Yeah, it
very
changes the
very
whole
interesting.
dynamic.
Yeah. Did you ever have like an impossible corpse run or anything like that? Very difficult to get to.
I think the one that sticks out the most was on like Project 1999. I was playing a like a barbarian warrior and I died in like Solazek, like Sol A, like that zone, and I
Oh,
think my body fell in like the lava in one of the chasms, and it's
oh
like,
man.
how am I gonna do this? And like luckily there was I remember a high elf paladin who like miraculously found my body, gave me a res, and that made me want to play a paladin after that.
That's that's amazing. Yeah, that was going to be my next question is like, did anyone help you? Because that's the impression I get. The community is just always so helpful. People will spend like, a couple hours out of their day when they don't have to just come and
For real.
support you. But yeah, that's amazing. And see, that creates stories and everything. Yeah, that
Yeah.
inspired you to play a paladin. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The best tank that I ever played with was a paladin. He was awesome. His name was Greylore on Saren back in the
Ooh,
day. Ah,
that's a
that's
cool name.
that's really cool. All right. Let's see here. So I'm just kind of going down my list. So you like the Enchanter? That's your favorite class. Is there a class that you
Yeah.
respect a lot, but you don't necessarily play yourself? Just sort
I
of
think
class
for
you
me,
always appreciate having in a group.
yeah, definitely like the Bard, I think. Just they have a ton of tools, like they're always doing stuff, and it's not something I would really want to play, at least right now in my life. Maybe in the future if I wanted to learn the class, but yeah, that one is always like respect for playing that class.
Yeah, it's a very busy class, and I just had an amazing
Yeah,
conversation with Classic EverQuest. It seems like it
nice.
has the highest skill ceiling out of the other classes. Like it's more
I believe it.
complicated to play, and yeah,
Mhm.
I'm right there with you. Do you have what's your proudest item in EverQuest?
Probably it's definitely like the epics. Because I have like the Paladin Epic 1.0 is probably my top one because I got it during the Kunark era on the TLP, and then
Nice.
behind that, like I have the Mage Epic 2.0, like Enchanter Epic 2.0. But
Correct
those
me
ones
correct me if
go
I'm
for it,
wrong.
sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but correct me if I'm wrong, but those are the more difficult ones to get, I've heard. Would you say that's accurate?
For like the 2.0s or like the Paladin 1.0?
Oh, I'm sorry. The 1.0.
Yeah, I think the Paladin one, like you need the most like raid fights for that one and just random items. And I think it was a while ago, but I think you needed to get like the Ghoulbane and then you had to do the quest for like the Fiery Avenger and
Hmm.
then turn that into the Fire Defender. Like there was a lot of steps. I can't believe I did that when I was in
Wow.
like in high school.
Man,
I'm proud of myself for
that's
that.
amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, same for me with the Rogue Epic. I mean, although that one's not as difficult, but I was just like, man, I can't believe I pulled it off because I'm sure you can
For
attest
real?
to this too. We're not the same people now that we were in high school. So
No.
it's crazy. Because yeah, there
Yeah.
was a lot of complex steps, turn-ins, like NPC dialogue, and kind of organizing raids and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And for me, it was like
I have dreams about it.
yeah, it was before voice chat and anything. Somewhere here, I need to bring in. I'm working on, like I said, I'm working on a couple videos, but I actually have like a printout
Nice.
of when I printed it out, like the guide for Alakazam on
Oh, that's sweet.
for my
Gotta like
epic.
laminate the sheets, make a binder.
Yeah,
Yeah, Alakazam was like my best friend.
I love that website. Like to this day, I kind of peruse like some of the screenshots and just kind of forum posts and stuff. It's a great website. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful sort of time capsule with a lot of
it is.
memories
That's
and
how I describe it too.
yeah.
Yep. Just like going
It's
in the comment section, posted 2003, like posted 2002. It's like, whoa, that is so cool to see that.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing. Do you have what is your like favorite group composition? If it was up to you, what is your perfect group in EverQuest? And then while you're thinking about
Hmm.
that, well, actually, answer that first. Sorry, I don't want to throw too much
Sure,
at you.
sure. I think, just got a solid tank. They know what they're doing. Maybe like a Shadow Knight. I love the aesthetic of Shadow Knight.
Hmm.
Probably. Definitely an enchanter, definitely a haster, got a charm pet going. I love a mage, having a good mage pet and good nukes there, and probably a cleric, got the complete heal. Like you need that. And like for melee, like a rogue, you can't go wrong with that. Got some backstab damage. I think that's five.
Yeah,
I think
one more.
the yeah. Let's see. Maybe because an enchanter kind of covers a lot of the buffs and everything. Maybe a bard just for some quick pulls and everything. Like just kind of glues it all together. That would probably be the best
Yeah.
group.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I was younger, like I would always like theory craft like what the best combinations were and how I
Yeah.
love how like some classes, it's kind of like, it's like they excel at something, but they're not good at something else, and that's when like another
hmm
class comes in and just kind of levels it out. Well, what about like a duo group? What is your ideal duo? Like what do you think is
Ooh,
the
yeah.
strongest duo?
Yeah, I think lately, like playing on the Shaman, like that's opened the doors for me of like a good duo composition because like a Shaman and like most melee classes, like you're pretty self-sufficient just for the two of you. Like you can heal them, you can haste them, regen. You got a little like pet for some extra DPS and some dots, and then whatever the melee class brings to the table, if they're like a tank or DPS, like that's probably like currently my top duo composition right now.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Do you have like a legendary raid night or anything that I know we've like we're going back to our epics all the time, but what's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
legendary raid that you've experienced or
Ooh.
been part of?
Yeah, I think just on my most formative memories for raiding, because I haven't really done a whole lot of raids to be honest in EverQuest. Like I've only kind of like tapped the surface of all of the potential raid content,
Same
but
for
on
me. Same for me.
yeah, like there's so much content. But on the Ragefire server, just going through like the Kunark raids and going to kill like Jelinek in Velius, like I remember that fight the most. Just like this massive dragon, and there's just so many of us. We had to go through like Sky Shrine, like just it's
Awesome.
so epic just to get to that point.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love it when like the team assembles and it's like all these other
Yeah,
players with the best gears,
Avengers.
the best buffs. It's great. Yeah, no, that's awesome. What about like your the best guild culture you've ever experienced? What made that work? I suppose from like a teamwork perspective or just kind of organization perspective. I'm not too familiar with the guilds like these days.
Yeah, I think just being in like for me like a family and friends kind of guild where like everyone's close knit. Like I've been in a lot of guilds with my dad, and um, we would just play together, and then we'd kind of get close with some other players, and like just when you recognize all the names and you're just down to just do whatever in game if you want to group up. Like it's I always respect guilds for like raiding guilds where they have like really good like logistical systems and the DKP and like tight knit schedules. Like I have mad respect for people
Yeah.
that can facilitate that and everything. And then just being positive, just like always just being yeah, just
Yeah.
respectful to others and just having a nice because we're all just friends playing the game. We all love EverQuest. It's something we all share. And I've never really like encountered like being in like a negative guild or anything. Like it's always been like positive experiences for me.
That's good. Yeah, that's very important. It's just like patience, like helping your friends, just understanding it's like a teamwork thing instead of like,
Yeah.
what can you do for me? I want to get all my stuff. And there's like, yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's very important for a game where it's like such a huge amount of time to kind of sink into it. And for me, like, I don't know what the answer is, but
Definitely.
I always think about like, is it possible to recreate the good old days of just but I think with like a good attitude and, just willing and able people, I think it is possible to kind of just have those fun times, even though we don't
Me
have
too.
time to play. Now we all have work, we have responsibilities. It's hard to play for like, 20 hours a day like we
Yeah.
used to, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the beautiful part about it. Like it's and we can just like learn about ourselves too. Like I talk about that a lot in my videos, just how to treat other people and like EverQuest is the perfect kind of arena for being able to grow as a person too, because it's not as consequential, like it's not actually impacting your real life, but it you can really just learn a lot about yourself and how to interact with other people.
That's beautiful. I love it. And that's actually a perfect segue to so there's like unspoken rules and etiquette to EverQuest. Is there anything that like modern players don't really get at first? I feel like EverQuest kind of taught me a lot of social etiquette in a way, and I think I've kind of taken that to other games as well.
Yeah.
And which we'll get to
Yeah.
Monsters and Memories in just a second, but
Nice.
what's your favorite like unspoken rule of EQ
Hmm.
etiquette that modern
I
players
think
might not get?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, because there's so many little like intricate cultural things in EverQuest of like how we interact with each other. Like, I think like camp checks are just that's like the pillar of
Yeah.
etiquette of like not like respecting other people's space and what they're trying to accomplish in their own thing.
Yeah.
And like in modern MMOs, like even like WoW, I've played a ton of WoW and just like WoW Classic, those moments don't really appear because you're not really camping stuff in that game. It's a lot of instant stuff, and then there's not a lot of opportunities to use the etiquette that EverQuest requires because EverQuest is like fundamentally like you need to have that etiquette for those situations that other
Mhm.
games don't even give you the opportunity to utilize sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. What and then so from your perspective as someone who's played a lot of old school MMOs like EverQuest or WoW, what do you think that the old school MMOs provide that modern games kind of struggle to replicate?
Yeah, that another really good question. Like just the classic MMO structure is so player driven just for the players creating the culture, creating the world, like trading items with each other. And there's like, I feel like there's inherently more story and like sentimentality in like items and just your character's journey about like journey before destination and like modern MMOs like you said like they're just kind of throwing items at you just like loot pinatas and it's really hard to kind of like cherish the small moments in those kind of games when it's so fast paced.
Hmm.
And I love the slow paced nature of classic MMOs.
Yeah, I do too. And that was going to be my next question is like, where do you think the magic kind of lies? But I think you pretty much nailed it. It's the downtime, the danger, the mystery, the travel. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts there on where the magic lies?
Yeah. Like what you said, like the travel, like druids and wizards, like sure they can port you where you need to go, but you still need to like rely on other players to do that. And yeah, just it's just so reflective. I think the meditation system, like you have to like just sit down and it takes a long time to restore your mana and your hit points and like I'll keep saying it again. Like it's so easy to compare with newer games, but newer games it just doesn't have that mechanic of forcing you to like sit down and just like wait.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
have to like be present.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything's just go, 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 and that's something I always talk about as well. So, like, man, believe it or not, like, so Final Fantasy 14, just to go on a little tangent here,
Oh, yep, I
that's
played that.
probably the most I've played more than any MMO I've put in Final Fantasy 14, and I loved it in
Nice.
the beginning, like a Realm Reborn, but
Oh yeah.
just over time, it kind of went the World of Warcraft route where like everything is instanced. There's no reason to really be in the open world. It's just kind of like
Mm-mm.
you just get to your instance. You don't have a reason to talk to the people. The group is just auto. You get auto put with
Yeah.
people, and you go through. Nobody talks. Need or
Nope.
greed, and yeah, you just never see the people
Yeah.
again. So
Never.
and
Yeah, like for that game, like sorry to interrupt.
no, no, please,
Like
please
Final
hit me
Fantasy
with it.
14. Like I played that like 4 years ago and I went all the way through like finished Endwalker. Like that was an MMO where it has the look and feel of an MMO, like being in the world. There's like social hubs and abilities, but like what kept me in that game was just like the story. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
even the MMO aspect.
That's
It was
kind
kind
of
of
a
interesting.
fun thing that I think they do right. I kind of, because
Hmm.
unlike, so I guess EverQuest is the opposite route. Like, you're not really anyone special in the world. Your character's just
No.
there. The world just goes on, whether, it's with you or not. Whereas Final Fantasy 14, it's like the story of your character. Like, you're the
Yeah.
hero, you're the
The
warrior of
Warrior of
light.
Light.
I think that's interesting from like a Final Fantasy perspective. I think
Yeah.
it can be a good sort of standalone Final Fantasy. And I mean, yeah, just to kind of give them some praise, I think the story of it is really well
Yeah.
made.
Chef's
I
kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I haven't played Dawn Trail per se.
Me neither.
I'm gonna get to it eventually, but I just feel like Shadowbringers was like the perfect ending. Endwalker,
Yeah.
I didn't like it so much, but
Hmm. Yeah, it couldn't
just
be
my
Shadowbringers.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, perfect. Just one of my last. We're kind of coming to the end of the EverQuest stuff here, and then we're gonna just kind of deep dive into Monsters and Memories. But what do you think is one sort of modern convenience that actually hurts immersion or community, from your
Hmm.
perspective?
Yeah, I think just yeah, and like you said, like just instance dungeons. You don't have to travel to these milestones in the world to like gather people. Like the magic of a lot of these games is bringing people together, but it's not instantaneous, and you have to like kind of like vet people out and like choose the compositions and like talk to each other first before just saying come here, like all right, we're teleporting here together. Like it's I think
Yeah.
the instance really does hurt the game, like for dungeons.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. I love that, like the idea of just sharing the world with other people, and,
Yeah.
just kind of generally like cities are safe, so we can kind of plan our adventure, organize the group, whatever. But once we go to travel, it's like, yeah, the world is dangerous. You have to respect the world, not just kind
Hmm.
of run through it, whatever. Mobs just kind of forget about you after a while. Like, one thing about
Yep.
EverQuest, I thought,
Yeah.
like, yeah, if you get aggro, that's it. You got to either handle it, you got
Yeah.
to zone out, figure it out.
Yeah. Feign death if you have
I
that.
love the idea of the world just being very dangerous. It's something I learned very early on as an
Yeah.
EverQuest player. And then to be honest with you, like people have asked me to the corpse run stuff. I learned that very early on. And so as a rogue, I was just extremely careful. Even if I'm in stealth, I'm just conning everything and just like
Yeah.
really being careful. And yeah,
Yeah.
no,
There's so
absolutely.
much magic there. Like,
Yeah.
and to add on to that, like, yeah, it does add a level of like vigilance that you need when you're playing these games, and like, so like a little bit of like almost paranoia too of like what's behind the corner. Like, if you're in the Oasis, like they design these zones to be low level, and then they just sprinkle level 40 hill
Oh,
giants in there.
yes.
You
Yes.
just have to like always look around, like you kind of always feel a little bit of like uncertainty, like, oh, is there a
Yeah.
hill giant over there?
I love that so much. That's a wonderful point. We didn't touch on that. I love how they have like areas where there's high level parts of it and low level parts of it, but it's all just kind of intermixed together,
Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting too as a kid, like you would see like a higher level group of players kind of running through or in an area, and you're like, "Oh, all that cons red to me. Wow. Like maybe one day I
Yeah.
can do it." And it just
Yeah, it's such
creates
good design.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember the that named alligator in Oasis, Lockjaw, and then that sand
Oh yeah.
giant Kazel. Yeah, that was rough. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And okay, so this is just kind of like a fun question. This is totally optional, but just as an EverQuest player on Quarm, if you could bottle up a message and send it to Secrets, the sort of lead GM of Quarm, what would it be?
Hmm. I think my message would be very positive because like I think what Secrets and the team are doing is just really phenomenal for they put so much attention to detail in all the little things, and they're so transparent with the community, and I think they've really fostered a really cool just overall community in Quorum. And I love that like with the whole Daybreak like fiasco in the summer, like it was handled very well on Project Quorum's end, and I like I just have a lot of respect for secrets and just the people working on that server. So I would just say like just thank you for making it, and it's really cool.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, shout out to Secrets. That's beautiful. Okay, sweet. So now let's just take a deep dive into Monsters and Memories. I really love to pick your brain because for me, like I
Yeah.
feel like it's so difficult to describe, but it's like I feel like this is the game that I've been waiting for my whole life. I just didn't know it
Mm.
yet. It was kind of through the mist and like as it's getting more and more fleshed out, it's like, yes, this is gonna be it for me. This is my sort of forever MMO.
Nice.
So for you, and I love your Monsters and Memories content. It's very thoughtful,
Uh,
very beautiful, and I kind of feel like we're on the same page with a lot of stuff. But so when did Monsters and Memories first kind of get your attention? What was the hook for you? How did it sort of get on your radar and get you interested in it to try it out?
yeah, I think like I was starting to kind of hear about it a lot in the community, just people mentioning it like in my comment section and just seeing some other videos about it. And I didn't really play it until like the end of the summer of this year, so it's definitely like pretty recent for me. And like I tried it out, and I love that the whole aesthetic, the whole graphical style, like it stands on its own. Like it embraces its own style and its own kind of classic nostalgia, like retro feel.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, I think the user interface is very customizable, and that's a first impression for me. Is like, am I going to have to deal with it being this way? I love to like customize things as much as possible, and um, like I have some pretty like limited experience so far, but when I was playing my Dwarf Paladin, like the beetle armor quest, like and the trade skills, like it just like hooked me right in. Like I was so invested when I started playing it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And I feel you. I'm the same way. Like the UI is surprisingly customizable, and most people don't realize that. Yeah, that's one of the criticisms of the game, but they if you just take a moment, you can see that it's actually kind of intuitive, and plus
Yeah,
every single playtest is just getting better and better and better. You can just kind of see the improvements for
yeah,
sure.
I can see the polish.
Is it on your dad's radar as well? Is that something you guys will play together, or is he just like super into EQ?
Yeah, right now he's really into Quarm. I haven't really like brought up Monsters and Memories too much to him yet, but like when it's starting to release, like I definitely want to make it a plan to play with them on launch and just maybe try to find like some of my friends that aren't really into MMOs, like trying to just get a band together to try out just a fresh game with like a
Yeah.
fresh perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I think it's gonna be a lot more impactful than people realize. I think there's a lot of like World of Warcraft classic players that are interested and also like Final Fantasy
Definitely.
11, Final Fantasy 14, like some of those kind of players I think are gonna get funneled in. Obviously a lot of the EverQuest people, a lot of the Pantheon
Mhm.
people. There's and,
Yeah.
and that's what I like. If we have time, I'd love to get your perspective on some of these other indie MMO projects. Because my
Oh
whole
yeah.
thing is like, even though these games like fundamentally kind of they have similar roots, they're obviously you can't take back like 20 years of MMO development. It is what it is, but I think we
Mhm.
kind of lost something along the way when nobody was looking. I'm not really
Yes.
sure what that is, but something kind of changed. And now here we
Yep.
are in 2026, and it's just like, something just quietly slipped away. That's always what I say. That's why my whole thing is we're going back to the golden age.
The Renaissance.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I think for me, it's going to be Monsters and Memories. What does Monsters and Memories need to do to sort of be a forever game for you?
Hmm.
I'm sure you won't ever abandon EverQuest, but what would
No.
it be to be your main game
Yeah, I
going
think
forward?
just I love like developer transparency of just seeing that there's an evolution to the game design, but it's not like trivializing the game. Like what I love about classic EverQuest, especially where it's kind of like locked into those classic eras, is like you don't feel like your progress is gonna be like um retroactively like kind of irrelevant in the future because just things will just replace it instantly, and what you were doing like this month will be there will be no point in doing it like next year because it's just irrelevant now. So just
Hmm.
like keeping the world feeling like it has continuity and like the little moments matter and that the new content doesn't like oversaturate the design and like things retain their identity like from start to finish. I think that's for me that's pretty important.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's kind of the sense of the world feels timeless and also just like an item,
Yeah,
maybe like a really good haste item. You know, you can basically keep that for a while. You could maybe even give it to another character or something.
definitely.
Just
That's
kind
the
of,
best.
yeah, instead of just the economy is just flooded and everything's invalidated and there's all of a sudden there's airships and flight and you know we're going to space and I like it's
Yep.
like the perfect time like from a the technology there kind of makes sense. I love that. I love kind of like, you know, we have ships and that's about as far as the technology goes, you know, nothing, no flying mounts or anything like that.
No, yeah. Doesn't have to be too fancy.
Yeah.
Like I think the thing about EverQuest and like classic MMO players, like we like simple systems that are intuitive, that have identity, that like just little things matter. And I think that's like our brain picks up on just this item has one strength, like and that's important. Like that has a difference versus all these items like 12 strength, just it's
Hmm.
like it takes away the meaning behind the little things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. And so what's the most promising thing about Monsters and Memories for you currently?
Yeah, I think from what I've heard about it, like the developers are very they embrace their design and philosophy of what they intend the game to be, and they're not like kind of working around like the feedback like very much. Like they're true to themselves, and I appreciate the authenticity of that.
They're not taking everybody's idea and just putting it into the game, you know. No, it's
Yes.
great. I love that so much, and that's my thing too. It's like you can make a game for everyone and also at the same time no one. So I love that
Yeah.
they're sticking to their guns, you know. I really respect it, and the team is amazing at like filtering feedback as well. There's so many people with like ideas like, oh, you should have a map, you should have chat bubbles, you should have a need or greet button. And I love how they're just like quadrupling down on
Yeah.
their stuff. Yeah, and so you know another interesting thing too is like a big portion of the game has been largely developed on Twitch and just it's kind of like part of streaming culture in a way. You know, it's like they're very transparent as you mentioned and yeah, I love it. I love it. Do you have anything that you're concerned about watching Monsters and Memories? I guess the inverse of that question. Is there anything you're worried about?
Yeah, I think nothing really like pokes out right now of like I'm like that worried about it. Like I feel pretty confident that it'll be a good experience and it just seems like there's a lot of heart in it and
Yeah.
they're they take it seriously like their like roadmap and everything. I love that. And I guess what I worry about and what I'd worry about with like any game or studio is like being bought out by like a like private equity investor or something and like
Yeah.
it just gets completely bastardized and like they have to bow down to like shareholders and because that
Yeah.
just ruins any game if they have to reach like monthly annual quotas and everything like
That's
adding a
true.
battle pass like I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that's true. Battle Pass, Chrono, absolutely. And you know, it's true. It's a lot of the people from that end of it, like the business side of it, it's kind of interesting, but you know, they're not really players themselves. They don't really quote unquote get it, I guess, like the magic. And one thing that I appreciate about the dev team, it seems like they're very passionate about game. Like they play themselves, you know. They were like
Yes.
old EQ nerds. They're in the emulator community or whatever, and it's basically a game made by gamers, you know, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool. And then a loving
That's what we
robot,
need.
huge fan. Even like before I found out about Monsters and Memories, I followed Sean because when I got back into EverQuest with P99, I was just curious. Like I was like, hey, like whatever happened to the former EverQuest developers? Has anyone ever like talked to them or like is there like podcasts or
Yeah.
anything? And that's how I found out about Sean. So yeah, I definitely trust the team 100% for sure. So I don't really have any big concerns there either. And I think too, it's possible to have like a small like a niche community. You don't need like millions of players. I think it's great to
No.
have, 10, 20, 30,000 people and just kind of keep it like that and still be
Yeah.
profitable and whatnot, just my opinion. Um,
Yeah, same here. Yep. Just playing on like even Project 1999 Quarm, like 1,200 players max pretty much. And like that is plenty of people in a community. Like, and that's like, yeah, that's just 1,200 people.
yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. What's one thing that you hope the devs never change because it's core to the magic of Monsters and Memories?
I think, and this kind of connects with what I was saying before about like if they got bought out or anything, just like microtransactions, like keeping, I remember them saying like they're going to have a, like, like a gift shop kind of thing, but it'll be mostly like physical, like IRL items and not actual cosmetic items in the game. But
Yeah.
just making sure like the loot you get, the armor you get, like it feels rewarding. Like it looks cool. They're not trying to sell you something for real money that looks cooler.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm all for like a merch store. You're gonna see me all decked out in swag or
Nice.
whatever,
Yes.
as they say.
Get a map.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Actually, one of my things, I have my old like EverQuest stuff on the shelf there, my Ruins of
Cool.
Kunar.
Cool.
I still have that cloth map, and my idea is I want to frame
Ah,
it and kind of just put it up. That's my basically the.
that's awesome.
I'm not a collector like some of these guys have amazing collections, but I love the idea of owning like a physical map. I think that would be cool. And actually, they should do that
Yes.
because people are begging for a map in the game, but it would be funny if they actually get like a physical cloth map and sell it to you. That's one thing that
Yeah.
I'd be all for. Okay.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. And then what's one thing that you hope they iterate on next, even if it's small? I know that's kind of similar to the a lot of the other questions, but just wanted to get your
Hmm.
perspective there.
Like kind of like a design that like older MMOs do have, like Monsters and Memories doesn't have yet, kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, like
I would.
something that the devs are currently working on or in the game currently. What's
Hmm.
one thing you hope they just kind of keep doing it without sort of changing that up, I suppose.
hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. I like the vendor system, like just the vendors only like buy certain items. Like it
Oh,
adds like
interesting.
a inconvenience to the game, but it forces you to be acquainted with like the entire world and like the entire city. And like
Yeah.
I love the realism. I love inconvenient designs like that. I'm not like a masochist or anything, but I like those designs.
Oh, interesting. Actually, you're the first person to bring that up. Like we all knew about it. I just kind of forgot to mention it. Yeah, that's one of the things people complain like, why can't you just have one general merchant that you sell to? And I'm kind of with you. At first, I was like, oh man, I have to run around town. It took me a few hours. I mean, and I still don't know my way around the city, but I kind of just generally, it's like, okay, this person buys like meat, this person buys cloth and weapons and
Yeah.
whatever. And once you kind of figure that out, knowledge is power. No one can take that away
Mm-hmm.
from you.
No.
And then you kind of know. So yeah, the first couple hours might be rough, but once you figure it out, you're pretty much good to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of rewards more savvy players that like to play the economy. And so if you're into trade skills, some nerd might have sold all his stuff to the shady merchant, and then and then
Yes.
you get it cheaper, and then you do what you got to do. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, I love that. That's beautiful. How do you feel about some of the stuff that people want, like for example a map or chat bubbles, or what's some of the other stuff, a need or greed button? How do you feel
Um,
about those kind of things in the game?
yeah, I do have some opinions on that. Like for the chat bubbles, I think that's pretty inconsequential if you want to like toggle that on and off. Like if it's like proximity based, I don't think that would change the gameplay that much. But for like having a map, I think it is like super important not to have a map in the game because it requires you to use that like muscle in your brain for just directionality and like we need that kind of experience in our lives because like in everyday life we always have GPS, we always have all these tools where we don't need to like use those skills to navigate and like being able to be put into a world where that ability you don't even have the option is like I just think that's just really cool game design that challenges you and your own ability, and it makes you feel kind of proud when you are able to learn the lay of the land and you can just naturally go through these areas because you just recognize them. And yeah, I think that's pretty important. And then for like the need and greed system, I think that does inherently change the gameplay because it removes a layer of communication between like a group of players. And sometimes it might be rough to have to like choose who's getting like who's loot. Like you'll have a slash roll system or maybe like a loot console kind of thing in a group or something. Like it adds a layer of resistance and like some kind of like roughness, but that makes it feel more real too. So
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, it's like Cueto said, just talk to people. It's all good.
yeah. I
Um
love that video. Yep.
oh, thank you. Yeah, no, he's great. But no, that's just incredibly wonderful and thoughtful. I'm totally with you there. Well, what about chat bubbles?
Yeah, like I was saying, like the chat bubbles, that's like from WoW pretty much. Like if they
Yeah.
actually want to have chat bubbles, like I don't think I wouldn't turn on chat bubbles if it was an option. I just like the chat bar. It's kind of minimalistic.
Yeah.
There's not these big white flashing circles like if you're in the dark or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on those, but like I'd rather not use them.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And just to your point earlier with like learning the zones and stuff, the ambience and the atmosphere in that game, the music, well that's probably my favorite, but just
Yeah.
the ambience, like there's the sunrise, the sunset, and just kind of just seeing where
Ah,
the light is and then landmarks in the distance. It's
yeah,
beautiful. It kind of just forces you to just be aware, be in the world, and be present, and you're going to learn that stuff
definitely.
eventually. I mean, not to go on like a huge tangent here, but like Dark Souls is one of my favorite games ever. The original Dark Souls, I love it. And that game didn't have a map, and the world was just beautifully interconnected, and I thought that was incredible. And then as you kind of go through, and you eventually learn the zones and the areas and stuff. Same thing for a game like Monsters and Memories, for sure. You know,
Yep.
so
Yep. I think that's crucial. Just using the land around you and like even the skybox, like that is so cool. And it like I think the cool thing about like a good classic MMO, like especially for EverQuest, like sometimes it feels just like a survival game. Like you're just
yeah.
out in the world, you have like you need to have food and water, like
hmm
you need to be aware of your environment. There's consequences if you die. Like those are like survival game elements.
I
And I
love
think it
that
just
so
makes it so
much.
immersive.
Yeah, and it's like you have limited inventory. You need to, yeah, you need food and water. You might be going on a long journey. You have the backpack. Like I
Yeah.
just think that's so cool. And then I think eventually we're gonna get like maybe like the caravan system or some kind of wagon where we can kind of go.
Oh,
I think that's in the works later
that's
on.
awesome.
But yeah, absolutely. I love some of the survival mechanics as well. So beautiful. How are we doing on time? You
Oh,
read?
yeah, I'm chilling. Just as long as like the conversation like naturally goes, I'm good with.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So I have a couple questions here about just in general, just design. How do you feel about MMO classes at this point? Do you think they're basically solved? We have tank heal, DPS support. Is everything already covered? And then if there is room to innovate, where do you think that is? Just curious. I'm not really sure of
Yeah.
the answer, but I'd love to get your perspective on this.
Yeah, I think like if you see in like modern MMOs just how much class homogenization is like occurred over the years, like there has been a loss of identity, but they still like vaguely fit under, just the healer, tank, DPS kind of archetype. Like I think that archetype is and like EverQuest obviously has like more utility CC archetype as well, the fourth one. But I think those pillars are pretty like set in stone for me at least of like my idea of like what I'd expect out of an MMO. But I think going into Monsters and Memories with kind of a fresh take, like utilizing those pillars, but just making those like adjustments and fine tunings to make sure that they feel more that they have their identity. Like it's not homogenized. Like the beautiful part about EverQuest the classes, like you said, they are strong in some parts and then they're just useless in other parts. And that's the beauty, the system that like creates and fosters community between people. Like you just need to have others. Like I think, yeah, like the archetypes, the pillars, healer, tank, DPS, utility. Like keep that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but just making sure that it has the identity, that
Yeah,
they're honoring that.
absolutely. That's beautiful. Yeah, I love that. I'm with you. And I love the idea of just the social reliance and the classes being able to rely on each other. Like cleric is that this is one of the big things. Like cleric is one of the only classes, or it is the only class that can get res. For example, druid and
Ooh.
shaman cannot get it, and some people are upset about that. But my argument is, well, look at everything that the druid and shaman can do that the cleric can't.
Yeah.
It's like a druid can travel around the world very easily, damage shield, spirit of wolf, whatever, or spirit of wild. Yeah, they can travel. They can evacuate the group. They have, pretty awesome buffs, damage shield. Same thing with Shaman. Best slow in the
Oh
game,
yeah.
best melee buffs in the game. Incredible. I mean, and respectable heals as well. So a cleric, yeah, I'm all for that they can get res. I think that's very interesting. But yeah, I love the idea that this is what I love about EverQuest 2 and just in Monsters and Memories. Like, yeah, like the classes need each other. Like, you, like, let's say you play whatever, you're really good at that, and I'm not good at
Mhm.
that, but I'm good at something you're not good at. And then if we team up, it's like, it's
Yeah.
perfect. I love it. So, yeah, beautiful answer.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
on. Yeah, exactly. I agree with everything you said. Like that's like it's so beautiful about it. Like, and then it's like your class design on its own. Like it has its limitations and its strengths, but then like the player behind that class too. Like we have our own strengths and weaknesses too that can like work and like enmesh with the class themselves, and so it creates like an added like layer of cooperation. I don't know. It's so interesting to think about.
yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then how do you feel? Do you prefer classes being kind of more simple, like simple rotations where like there's a social aspect to it, like, we meditate, we can have a little break and chat, or do you like kind of like having these more like complex rotations and kind of positional requirements? Like that's kind of interesting to me too. And it seems
Yeah.
like Monsters and Memories leans kind of more towards like the slower pace combat, which I like, but yeah, how do you feel about that kind of like mastery of rotation versus kind of more simple
Yeah.
classes?
That's a good question. And I feel like both play styles have like their own time and place, but like for a classic MMO, like I think inherently just having that simplistic rotation, just having that kind of free time of just sitting where you really can't do much, but the abilities that you do have are very useful and like those abilities matter. And you don't have like the hot bar of like 20 spells that all have tiny little things that you need to do. Like sometimes that's fun, like when I'll hop on like retail WoW and it's just kind of like you're in a trance state of just going through all these spells, but you don't have any time to reflect or like talk to people. So like
Yeah.
I like what Monsters and Memories is doing with their style for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautiful. Let's see here. I think we covered a good amount. Think that I mean that's all the questions I have for like Monsters and Memories specifically, unless you want to circle back to anything or comment on anything we might have missed. I think we covered a good bit. How far did you get on your experience like with the playtest? You had it was
Oh,
a dwarf paladin, right?
yep. I got a Dwarf Paladin. Honestly, I didn't really get that far. I think I got to like level 8, but I was just really focused on like mining, like just running around the zones and mining and just making armor. Like I love any good system, like crafting system where what you create actually matters
Mm-hmm.
and you don't get like an item from a quest that just makes all the stuff that you spent actual time creating just like meaningless. And so like that was my big takeaway from when I played was just like going through like and seeing how all the trade skill systems rely on each other. Like you have to use like leather working and tailoring to make certain components for like making like bronze armor. Like I love that so much. And you're not
Yeah.
like pigeonholed into just choosing like, oh, you can only do two professions. Like, no, you can
Yeah.
do it all, like if you want to.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I love that. That's something we didn't touch on. Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, like I'm not so much of like a trade skill or crafting guy, but I'm gonna get into it. I think that's cool. And then like level 8 is actually more than enough. Another thing we didn't touch on is like in Monsters and Memories, you get a very good sense of how the class is gonna be very early on. You start getting your stuff. So like, by the time you get to level 3 or 4 or 5, like you generally have an idea of what that class is gonna be. Whereas like in EverQuest, one of the things like, man, started Quarm. I mean, luckily, so I don't have a whole lot of time these days. And I really can only play like maybe 2 nights a week, and so people were very helpful. But
Oh,
yeah, like
nice.
some of those hybrid classes are just so rough in the beginning. So like I'm playing
Oh
a
my gosh.
a beast lord, and you don't get your stuff till like
Okay.
level 9. I think the same thing with a paladin.
Yeah.
And in EverQuest, like
Hmm.
those first initial levels, I mean, like yeah, even a rogue, they don't get backstabbed till 10, and it's just very rough those first few levels. But Monsters
Yeah.
and Memories, you start getting that stuff right off the bat, so that's really cool. Like the pace, I think is really really good there. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I do like that design because it is a bit more convenient from like EverQuest, but in a good way because you can kind of you get a feel for what you're playing right off the bat. You're not like just in auto attack hell for like hours until you're level 9 and then you get like a minor heal spell.
yeah.
So yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Well, that's awesome. That's all the Monsters and Memories questions I had. Is there any other like sort of indie game on your radar? I know like Adrullan Online Adventures is gonna be
Oh,
another
yep.
banger whenever that comes out. Do you have any thoughts there?
Yes. Yeah, I really like where that game's going. Like, I mean, I played Minecraft like and I still do sometimes. Like, I love Minecraft, so that whole kind of style in the EverQuest like format is just like so cool for me. Just
Yeah,
and like the design, like that game stands on its own in its design, just like Monsters and Memories does. Like it has
yeah,
just really cool aesthetic, and that's the kind of game that I always would have wanted to play when I was like younger. Like when I'd play Minecraft, I'd try to make it feel like EverQuest. Like I'd build Kanos, like try to make it feel as close to an MMO as possible. But like actually seeing a game that is that, it's like, whoa, okay, cool.
yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, I love it. It's so kind of cute and whimsical in a way, but
Yeah,
it has like the danger and harshness of the world that like EverQuest does.
yeah.
It's
It's like,
really
oh,
interesting. It's very it feels weird, but it works. It works. And
yeah,
to be honest with you, I never played Minecraft. I'm not a fan of like voxel stuff that much, but
that's fair.
it
Yeah,
just works for some reason. It's beautiful. I love it, and the UI is amazing. It's got a lot of polish. The team there is great too, and I
yeah. The
love how
UI is awesome. Yeah,
yeah. I think out of all of them, it's probably got the smoothest UI, to be honest. And
I agree.
I love how the teams kind of support each other. There's like this I think a rat drops this like Monsters and Memories design document, and I think vice versa. I think the Monsters and Memories devs put something in Monsters and Memories that's kind of alluding to the other team, basically the design document dropping
Oh, that's
off of a
awesome.
mob. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we're in like a special time right now, just with the classic MMO resurgence and just bringing community back, and it's just a breath of fresh air in just the video game landscape, and like just seeing these companies like they want to support each other. It's like it
Yeah,
just has like a heart and soul in it that you just don't see in a lot of like mainstream games.
yeah, you pretty much nailed it, and I love that too. That's always my take. Is like these games they don't necessarily have to compete with each other. Like there's a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. They're very different games, so they don't need to compete with each other. And there's such like
No.
tribalism in some of these projects, and kind of
Yeah, especially in
hostility.
EverQuest.
It doesn't need to be that way, yeah. And then like a lot of
Mm-mm.
people have already decided. Like I know some EverQuest players that are like, I like it. It's an interesting idea, but I'm like really into EverQuest right now. Like I'm gonna be raiding. Planes of Power is gonna be coming out. That's fine,
Yeah.
or and vice versa. Or some people will say, well, I just I don't like the art style. I don't like the graphics, or whatever. I like Pantheon more, or I like this better, or I like Adrullan better. It's all good though.
Yeah.
It's all good. I think it'll be great, and there'll be plenty of time. Like for me personally, my it's going to be Monsters and Memories for me, Adrullan Online Adventures, and then EverQuest will always be my home. And I'm kind of really leaning towards Quarm. That's going to be kind of my three. And that's kind of my focus
Nice.
going forward, too. Instead of trying to do a bunch of stuff, I think I'm just going to focus on just a couple of things that I really like. And
Yeah,
yeah.
just narrow it down.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you was, what's your plan kind of going into Monsters and Memories? I think I already know the answer, but just, are you going to go in for like world first, just like going to raid, like max out your class? Are you going to be an altaholic, just kind of exploring different classes, or maybe
Hmm.
stick to the paladin, focus on trait skills and whatnot? Like, what's your kind of plan going into the game in early access? Are you just, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, like, I don't have any like specific like goals that like, oh, I gotta get this first or anything, but I might not even roll a paladin. I might do like a necromancer or something. Just I love like the self-sufficient classes that, have really cool utility. And yeah, I'd love to play with my dad if he's willing to play. I'm sure he would be. And like some friends and just explore the world at our own pace. Like just take it slow, go through the zones, group with some people, do some like trade skills. But
yeah,
yeah, just really like soaking it in. That's what I
yeah.
want to do.
Absolutely, that's beautiful, and that's the whole point of these games is just existing in the world, and it's just the journey, the vibe, the ambience, the community, the camaraderie. That's what it's all about for
Yeah.
sure. I tend to get a little bit competitive, I want to obviously, yeah, I want to get there and I want to do it. I want to get my
Oh yeah.
epic, but at the same time, it's like, we have jobs, we have responsibilities. How much time can I realistically devote? So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be one of the first people just to kind of hit the ground running right out of the gate. But yeah, okay, very cool, very cool, very interesting perspective. Are there any other games on your radar or kind of projects? Like, do you have any thoughts about Pantheon? That's another big one that's kind of in the space, although they've kind of had a more, troubled kind of development cycle and, that the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, for Pantheon, like I haven't really played a whole lot of that game since its like initial early access release at like the end of 2024. So like it's been over a year since I like really sunk my teeth into it.
Hmm.
But for that game, like I loved the atmosphere, I loved the graphics of it, like the style. You can climb walls, like just like random mechanics like that.
Yeah,
Um, but if they like add some like just if they just add more to it, like I would definitely give it a second chance just to and it looks like they do have like a roadmap that they recently created or something like that. So I
yeah,
might check that out. And it's like it's a one-time like purchase for the game. So like I don't feel like I need to play it because I'm like subscribed or anything. So
yeah.
I think that's a good and a bad thing like for the developers because they kind of got all the income from like a main player so they don't have a lot of longevity because like Monsters and Memories will be like subscription based. Is that
I believe
correct?
so. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, I think that adds a little bit more like momentum to just the resources that development have. But yeah, I think Monsters and Memories for me is definitely like the number one game on my radar. Like going into the
Absolutely.
year, that'll probably be my mainstay. Like I'll definitely be making like some videos about it, and I want to get back into streaming too. I think it'll be fun.
Same. Likewise, yeah. Likewise, I'm going to be hitting the Monsters and Memories stuff pretty hard and just kind of really,
Nice.
really enjoying streaming it as well. If okay, so if we have time, I'd love to get your perspective, kind of like as a content creator. So believe it or
Oh yeah.
not, I mean, and with Monsters and Memories, so a large part of the community is on Twitch because that's kind of more the culture that kind of
Okay,
originated from. But
that's good to know.
there's not a whole lot of like YouTube creators. It's still relatively niche, and so
Hmm.
I'm just kind of curious, as a longtime fan, what made you start creating content?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been interested in just like making videos. Like, I had an old YouTube channel where I just made like short films and stuff with friends and just like random gaming videos from like 15 years ago. And so it's always been something I've just been interested in. And like on my current channel, like I made it in 2020. Just I was looking to just make mostly like gaming videos too, and just a fun little hobby. And like started making EverQuest videos, and like I kind of just saw like how like cool the community is on YouTube, and just seeing all the
Yeah.
support. And it's like, whoa, like I kind of like tapped into something like really special here. And so I just kind of went with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Same for me. I just kind of started like a little variety channel. I'm into a bunch of other stuff, anime, horror,
Yeah.
whatever. But it
Nice,
just
nice.
over time I realized, I don't know, I just really like EverQuest and I kind of
Yeah.
want to get into it more. So
Yeah, I really
that's
like your
cool.
videos too. Like it's very chill. Like yeah,
Oh,
it's a good vibe.
oh, thanks. No, I really appreciate it. I feel the same for you. Yeah, you're incredibly thoughtful, kind of analytical, and really nice voice for it and whatnot. So I
Thanks.
love it. I love it as well. Do you have like, let's say, from like a content creator standpoint, if someone, let's say someone is like, it's a new year, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel this year or like a Twitch channel to stream or whatever, and I'm interested in
Mhm.
Monsters and Memories or I'm interested in whatever game and I'm gonna start making content for it. What advice would you give to someone that's kind of just starting out or
Hmm.
curious about starting out from your perspective?
Yeah. Yeah, I think just like if you want to make some content for something you're really passionate about, like you don't need a whole lot, like maybe just like a microphone, like just for hardware, but like it's mostly just about your own passion, like just talking like through your heart, just what you like about it, and you don't have to like overthink it. Like I think that's a big thing for me is like I have a lot of like perfectionist tendencies where I feel like, oh, I need it to be perfect, like I have to edit it. And lately I've kind of like surrendered that and just make mostly unedited videos just talking about stuff that I'm interested in. So like just don't feel like pressured to make something like perfect or anything. And like I guess like don't compare yourself with other people. Just be true to yourself. And like I think people recognize that if you're true to yourself, and just yeah, just have fun
Yeah.
with it too. Like it's a fun thing. It's a little hobby.
Yeah, I love it. No, absolutely. Yeah, be authentic to yourself, be true to yourself, and people can appreciate when someone is genuine. You can tell very easily if someone's just, oh, hit the like button and subscribe and all that stuff. Absolutely, absolutely. That's beautiful. And how do you keep it fun without sort of burning out? Work, life, and then also kind of trying to edit and do stuff.
Yeah, that's been like my current struggle, just like staying consistent, and because I know it's something I want to do, but sometimes like I just don't really have the energy to. But like I'll mostly make a video if I like just feel the calling to, like hey, I think I do want to like just talk about this today, or like just record myself camping these mobs or something. Like just try and just making it feel light and fun, and not having any expectations for where it will go. Like, oh, it needs to have this many views. Like just letting go of all that stuff. Just making it for fun.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. That's beautiful. And then just kind of finally, if you could bottle up one message to the Monsters and Memories devs, what would that be if you could tell them something?
Yeah, I think similar to kind of like what I said to like a perspective like content creator, like just like stay true to yourself, like team, and just make what you love, make and just yeah, just stay true, stay authentic, and like it shows that you're making something that is very special, and it has a lot of influence, and it's a fun time. It'll be fun. Just yeah, be fun about it. I don't know.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's mostly everything. And this is just kind of last fun, kind of optional question. What's something that, people who follow you or kind of into your community, what's something that they might not know about you kind of outside of EverQuest or kind of gaming in general? Any like fun hobbies or kind of interesting things that people might not
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I guess like I've been recently just like learning to play the piano, so just kind of
Oh, cool.
trying to foster that throughout the year too. And maybe like some I used to make like some music on my channel, just like random beats and stuff, and so I'll probably do that more this year, just make random stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Very creative. I love it. I love it. But man, that's basically all that I had. Thank you so much for doing this. This is
Yeah,
great.
likewise. Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this has been awesome. Like I really like what you're doing again. Like it's cool that you're just bringing people from the community, like just talking to them. Like I think this is like what we need more of in the space of just having that connection and collaboration. And I really respect what you're doing.
thanks, man. I really appreciate it. That means a lot because yeah, it was just a fun idea, and I wasn't sure if anyone would kind of talk to me. You know, I'm relatively obscure, I suppose, in the space, and I was trying a
Oh,
bunch of variety and a bunch of other crap, and I'm just kind of now narrowing it down to EverQuest, and there's like huge, like kind of more established people in the space, so it's just kind of interesting that you talk to me, and yeah, I love it, and I haven't this is something I'm not sure if I'm going to add this because I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but and I'll edit out maybe this like little blurb at the end, but do you have anyone that you recommend or you kind of nominate to kind of be on the show? Because I don't know really everybody.
ooh,
I'm willing to talk to anybody. My whole dream for this is just like regular players. Like not only I kind of want to
yeah.
start doing my rounds with like the content creators and streamers, but like it
Mhm.
would be really interesting just to talk to people who are like just regular players from the community or just like people from Discord or Reddit or even like people that are really into like crafting or like guild leaders or just to get like some different perspectives. If you have
Hmm.
anybody that you'd like to nominate, I'd certainly reach out. I've talked to Classic EverQuest and Dude Boy Orc Boy so far. Those are probably
Okay,
like
okay.
the two big like EverQuest people from Quarm. But
Yeah, I think like the person that like came to my mind because I've been watching his videos like Sendrith EQ, like he makes like Project Corm videos, and
oh, cool.
I think he has some interesting insights that I think are fun to listen to. Like he has a cool personality.
Okay, wow, yeah. I'm actually subscribed. I'm a fan of Sendrith as well. I think he plays with
Oh,
Classic
nice.
quite a bit.
Yeah,
So
he does. Yep.
okay,
Kind of in that same group.
awesome. Yeah,
Damn.
awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much. This has been amazing, and it's great to formally meet you and just kind of
Yeah,
talk
likewise.
talk
Yeah,
to
nice to
you.
meet
And
you.
we should do this again sometime because I
I
imagine
agree.
it's not going to be a revolving door of people. It's a relatively small community, so
Yeah.
maybe down the line as it gets closer to early access, or maybe after, maybe we could talk about your experience with EA and all that stuff, and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
even
definitely.
like Planes of Power when that gets released on Quorum too. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd be down. Like this is like my first official like collaboration with another creator. So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
really excited. Like you're my first collaboration.
Dude, nice.
But
This whole thing is new to me.